Hello there, how are you? It's Rooks, your faithful artist. I've been at the real physical work past couple of weeks, so it's showing on my hands. Can you see? My left hand looks a lot younger than my right hand, and yes, I'm right-handed. I'm not worried, for they will return to looking the same in the winter and early spring. Something else happened in past couple of weeks. Something extraordinary. I've been called Babe. And I must say, I really didn't like it. In fact, I detested the experience. So we're gonna paint about that. It's sort of like an art therapy, so let's go. Today, we're going to paint barbed wire. And I'm gonna use watercolor to do it. Quite often I have poncy reasons to why I choose certain medium, but in this case I just felt like it. In case you have not heard of Miss Barbed Wire, she is a character from a 90s cult film called Barbed Wire. I watched the film not when it was released, but much later with my friend. Or was it the cultural study class? I think it was with Brendan. Anyway, I remember being really sleepy during the film. So I do not remember the details, but it was a tragedy of some sort. And Miss Barbed Wire, I believe, was some kind of law enforcement person or at least a vigilante of something. And there were lots of crimes in the area. Anyway, this Miss Barbed Wire, I assume her real name is Barbara Wire, and she has a thing about being called Babe, and she hates it. And I don't think it's because she was called Babe. I don't think she was that unhinged. I think, but then she would react like in a quite extreme way and say like, "Don't call me babe," and then shoot that person who said it. But again, not for saying that, but just generally, they were a bit of nomadoms. And there were lots of weapons in that film. Oh, by the way, I was trying to remove the hair from her face. Now I scratched it up a bit. Now it looks a bit like barbed wire. I'll keep it. Miss Barbara? Oh, look, by the way, the one thing that I remember, this is a detail I remember, is that she had a impressive lip liner. So this is what I'm doing right now. So yes, Miss Barbara is played by Pamela Anderson. And she was great in it. I mean, the bits I remember. She looks incredible in the film, and also she looks like the type of people that are stupid dudes would patronize and call them babe. But at their peril, my friends, she does not take it. Well, the context, the people who were calling her babes weren't even her friends or let alone intimate partners. They just were like, looked at her and then liked what they saw and stupidly called her babe. Yes. Nothing good happened to those who did that. Unlike Miss Barbara or Barb here, I actually don't look like this stereotypical sort of air quote babe. My physique somewhat resembles the Japanese anime robot thing. And quite goofy and tiny bit menacing looking. But did that stop this silly man call me babe? Did I know this guy? Absolutely not. Was I acting outrageously silly? Like as if I was a toddler? Like a babe? Categorically not. He saw a person that he thought was worth patronizing and he went for it. Silly man. Ah, but I'm far less capable woman than this Miss Barbara. So he got away with it scot-free. Ain't that just the way? As much as I detest the word and the misuse of it, well, I don't think we should ban the word babe because, it's a diminutive. It can, in context, it can actually be a quite sweet thing to say. I guess the thing is, you actually at least have to know the person you're calling babe fairly well. And the person you're calling babe likes you. Now, the crucial step, the darkest eyeliner to have ever existed in the history of cinema or the universe. Anyway, watercolor would not give sufficient pigment, so I'm using Sharpie pens. The whole film was quite saturated, I think, in colors, so maybe it wasn't that dark in real life. But anyway, I remember white of her eyes standing out against those dark eyeliners. I mean, it's a look, isn't it? I think Brigitte Bardot had similar looks. Though I do believe Pamela Anderson is actually a much nicer person than Brigitte Bardot. But both of them looked amazing. There's no doubt about that. Now, it was starting to look a bit cartoonish, so I'm going to briefly make it worse, then fix that. I suspect it could count as one of my toxic personality traits, but I tend to have to make it worse before being able to fix anything. So yeah, because I made her eyes darker, her eyeliner, which is the crucial part of this painting, I've just decided, I make the eyes lighter, so in comparison the eyeliner looks darker and all that jazz. And it worked. She now looks badass as opposed to having problems. So yes, here we have it. Barbed wire, enemy to the douchebags. Have you seen the film Barbed Wire? If so, let me know in the comment what you thought. Well, now I have created this image, so do I have a right to call her babe? Nope, absolutely not. Because I know she doesn't like it, and that's a good enough reason not to do it. I doubt my menagerie likes to be called babes either. Let me show you.
Hey, babe. 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 Hello.
The dog says no. How about cats?
My babe.
Looks like it's a resounding no from the cats, too. We're beginning to see the pattern here, aren't we? Now, the final frontier, the chickens. They see me as a treat ATM, so they might tolerate it. Thank you so much for coming this week and staying through this silliness. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. If you already have, and that's the reason you're here, I will call you in any way you want me to.